Alright, so commutative property of addition, 3 plus 2, is the same as 2 plus 3. It doesn't matter how you add them. So what commutative means is it's commuting. You can move the numbers anywhere you want for addition. And it's the same for multiplication. You can move them any way. And I know you already look at it and go, well, of course 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2. And 2 times 3 is the same as 2 plus 3. But we need to know that we can move them. So like when later on when you get stuff like 2 times x times 4 times y, well, you can move these around and go 2 times 4 times x times y, which would give us 8xy. It allows us to multiply stuff, and you need that property to know that you can do that. It also allows you to add stuff. So if you have 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 3, you can go, oh, well, 2 plus 8 is 10. So 2 plus 8 plus 5 plus 3. That gives us 10 plus 8, which is 18. You don't have to go left to right. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 8. You can move them around and pair them up and make nice base 10s. Make nice 10s. All right, an associative. It's very similar, but there's no moving. So if you have 3 plus 4 plus 5, it's the same as 3 plus 4 plus 5. You don't move stuff. What you do is you associate them. And it works the same for multiplication. You just associate them. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 3 is 12. They're all the same amount. You're just adding 3, 4, and 5 together. It doesn't matter how you add them. That's the whole point. So you can add them in any order you want. You can multiply them in any order you want. And that's the whole point. If you have pure addition and pure multiplication, add them any way you want, multiply them any way you want. Just multiply them. All right. Identity. This is the number that does not change anything. So if you have some number 3, you want to add something to it to keep it as a 3. So that identity is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. This is our identity right here. That's the additive identity, 0. And for multiplication, if you have 3 and you multiply by something, you still need to end up with 3. 1. That's the multiplicative identity right there. So 0 is the additive identity, 1 is your multiplicative identity. Inverse. Inverses are the opposite. So when it's something that take you back to 0 basically. So if you have $3, what can you add to it that takes you right back to 0? It's negative 3. That's its inverse. Or you could say the inverse of it is subtraction. I don't know what just happened there, but we're going to go with it. Just go with the flow. So if you had 4 and you subtract 4, you get 0. The inverse of addition is subtraction, or the inverse of a positive is a negative. And then for multiplication, if you have 4, 4 times what will give you 1. That's our base for multiplication. And that's the fraction form of it, 1/4. If you had a fraction, it would just be the reciprocal of the fraction. And then the last property, this is distributive property, and I know you know this one. But if you have 4 plus 3, and we want to think order of operations, you add them. No, we can distribute as well. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 6, for a total of 14. It'll still give us the same answer. You can distribute the number, because what it means is parentheses are like a little bag for our numbers. We got stuff shoved into them. It's a group of stuff. And you have that 2. So in that bag you have a 4 and a 3. That's what our plus can be read as, and 4 and 3. And you're getting 2 sets of 4, 2 sets of 3. So 2 sets of 4 is 8, and 2 sets of 3 is 6. That's what distributing is. Alright, so down here I have a bunch of properties, and I want you to see if you can pick out what they are. You have associative property. Let's just go over them real quick again. So remember, commutative, they move. So if it's addition and commutative, they moved. If it's associative, we're just grouping them in different ways. If it's an identity for addition, it did not change the number. If it's an identity for multiplication, it did not change the number. If it's an inverse for addition, it takes us back to 0. And if it's an inverse for multiplication, it takes us back to 1. And distributive, well, we know what distributive is. So let's see if you can match them up. Hit pause and try it. This may take 20 minutes, so hit pause and go. Okay, there's your answers. So look them over think about why each one. I'll give you a hint on the first one on why it's number 5. You think, oh, parentheses, distributive, right? Nothing was distributive. What happened is 2 plus 5 was rotated and gave you 5 plus 2. That's commutative property, and the operation between the 5 and the 2 is addition. So it's commutative property of addition. That's why I put a 5 there. So look at the rest. Number 7 is distributive. 6 is associative of addition. C, sorry, is associative. And if you look at the very bottom, it's also associative. Nothing moved, we're just associating.